Hello everyone. Please excuse my voice. The reason I haven't made videos in the last week or so is I've had really bad bronchitis and my voice is pretty much shot. What we're going to cover today is, you might call it a cheese method. I call it get the hell out of Brown's method. What we're doing is we're going to do proxy gateways. The benefit of this, and you'll see it pretty soon, is that you can keep cranking out your workers, and while you're cranking out workers you can seal off the front of your base here. When your base is completely sealed off, the enemy can't get to it with ground units, at least right off the bat. I'm going up against a Zerg, as you can see by the purple down here. So what's the Zerg going to do to get through my photon cannons? He's got to make roaches. Roaches take a little bit longer. They have to tech up. So for this to work, I'm going to go ahead and rewind this back. I want you to see what I did in the very beginning. First thing you do is you start making a worker. And then you take any of your workers off your line and start immediately scouting. Reason for this is that for you to keep scouting, if you wait a little while, it gives him more chance to build up a little bit of forces. Also, the chance for him to see you is greater. The way this works is you have to try to get somewhere close to their base to set up your proxy right off the bat, and hopefully they won't see you. Now I'm running in here. This overlord probably saw me, but it just so happens that he had floated another overlord over right where I'm going to be doing my proxy. So the timing was pretty perfect on this. So this is my proxy. I'm going to start setting it up right here. Meanwhile, my back base, I know I've got a little bit of time because he's all the way across the field. So even if he started 6-pooling me, for him to run his Zerglings over, it would happen right about now, the 3-minute mark. So I know I've got a little bit of time. As you can see, he's starting to search with his probe. So to just wall off my base, I'm going to wall off my base with my one guy. The whole time this is going on, I am doing nothing but making workers over and over and over again, and I'm actually using Chrono Boost on my facility to make even more workers. Now, as far as setting up the, we're doing this with warp gates. You can do the same thing with barracks, or not so much with Zerg, but you can set. The reason that I like using this is Marines are a little bit faster, but you need to have at least 1 to 2 SCVs here with you to keep making these. With Zealots, you don't need to do that, because with warp gates, all you have to do is you have one probe. He can make all this stuff. As you know, Protoss drops it down, they start making it, it makes itself. So while this is being made, I'm just, for the first, let me pause this for a second. For the first couple, I start making them right off the bat. While they're being made, as you noticed, this one, and this one were finishing up, but these ones were still being warped in. While they're being warped in, I can't make any more, so I've already started making some here. I made 2, and then I had enough minerals, so I started making a few pylons. The way this thing works, this whole setup, is you have to rely on 2 things. You got to make sure that you have some sort of minor defense back at your base, just something small, because if he's going to rush in with some Zerglings, 2 photon cannons will take out almost an entire pack of Zerglings. At least 1 or 2 larva injects, it'll take out at least both of them. So that protects your main base, and that means you can keep making workers. Keep making them. And while that's going on, you set your proxy up. You are vulnerable. This is not an all in, whereas I would just make a couple of Zealots and then rush in with my probes. That's another type of way to do this. But this is a better strategy for getting heavy pressure right off the bat. It's almost an all-in, because at this point he could run his Zerglings over, take out this one pylon, and I would be stuck. So because of that, I keep adding more and more pylons over here, and I keep making Zealots. Once you get about 5 or 6 Zealots together, that's when you can start rushing your guys in. So I'm bringing them in. They're going to come in. They're going to attack this queen. Now, while that's going on, I'm going to see if I can put on my view. While that's going on, I'm going to take out his base. And like this guy found a little... I got it, good. Taking out his base. I'm also going to keep making pylons, and I'm setting my rally point. Now it's being set. I set it right here. I should have moved it. But now I've set the rally point here. I'm going to then move my rally point to somewhere inside of his base, so that while my zealots are cranking away out here, the next ones, instead of just standing around back here looking stupid, they're going to come in into his base. Now all he has is zerglings right now. I think he's going to try to go with some roaches, but even with this little group of zerglings, zealots will tear through them. This same setup also works for Marine, or working against Terran, and it also works pretty good against Protoss. Protoss does have the added benefit of them being able to make photon cannons, and if there are 2 or 3 photon cannons set up at the front of their base, this pretty much won't work, because they won't be able to get in there quick enough to do enough damage. 3 photon cannons at the top of a ramp is enough to where even if you send a wave of, say, 6 guys in, they might get 1 photon cannon down, but the other 2 are just going to tear up the rest of them. So with Protoss, you might have to be a little bit quicker or go in with a much larger force. So I'm going to pause it at this point, and I'm going to load up another game where I go against a Terran to show you how effective it is against Terran. Okay, everyone, I'm back. One thing I was noticing while I was looking through my replays to figure out which ones to show you, I noticed that none of the games last longer than 10 minutes. That's kind of the benefit of this. In some people's books, this is cheese. In other people's books, this is not cheese. This is just another strategy to use. You know, I guess it depends on your viewpoint. My viewpoint is I've been at the bottom forever. I just can't get out of bronze. For the past 3 seasons, I have like 3,000 games played, and I just can't get out. And I figure at this point, I just don't care. So that's why I'm kind of doing this, and I'm showing you this little video to show you how effective it is. Okay, so we're going up against the Terran here. Here I am. I'm setting up proxy here. When I'm on this map, one of my favorite spots to do a proxy is actually right here between the 2 bases. That way, if I absolutely needed to, I could run back. And while I'm making my guys, I usually send them to kill these destructible rocks here and here, so that we can I can easily move between the bases if I needed to get back. I know I'm going up against Terran, and this guy is actually was at the time he's 2nd place in his division in silver, and I'm 1st place in my division in bronze. How I got there was doing the same strategy. I've done it for the past about 40 games. I went from 45th place up to 1st place in about a day. So it is a very effective strategy. It puts a lot of pressure on people right off the bat, and they're not used to it. So if you notice, I'm just saturating my mineral line. I'm just doing nothing but making more and more probes. It was close here. He almost saw me, but he didn't, so that was good. I know that when people go and set their scouts, they're going to send them go here, here, here. And the path to do that is through here. So I was trying to tuck these guys away in this corner. So this time I only, instead of doing 6 gateways, I only did 5. And I noticed right off the bat when I moved my first guys in that he was going heavy Marines, which is awesome because heavy Marines is if you got enough zealots, they just can't win. So you want to get a few zealots together. If you just run them in right off the bat, they're going to get chewed up one by one. So he knows his base is going down, and while that's happening, I'm proxying in more and more. So now I have a total of 6. I've got 7 coming in. He can't stop my onslaught with what he has here, mainly because his forces are split. Like I was saying before, this whole scenario relies on 2 things. You need to be hidden, and you need to be fast. You need to make nothing but workers. And while your worker production gets up to, I would say, if you're going to do this would say 6 racks, I would say you want at least 25 workers. I think he killed one of my workers, so I had about 25. And I've got 26. As you see, I'm still making more. Well, why this works out really nice too is if you're cranking out your zealots, you see that he's coming in to take out your base, and you don't have enough stuff up front to stop him. Like I didn't really wall off very good here. I was kind of going all in with this guy because I knew he was favored. So I saved up at least 400. That way, if he takes this base out while he's attacking this, I can usually run my probes out and get him to my new base because I have at least 400 minerals saved up. So now he's panicking, and at this point, my zealots are just going to chew through his SCVs. So I hope this has been helpful. Let's go back and just cover again how you do this. You want to first scout at your lowest number of units. So for SCVs, if you want to scout with an SCV, you want to do it right when you first start off. And then while he's off running around, then you keep making more SCVs. It's going to slow your production down just a tad, but it's going to get you the head start that you need. Because you can always just keep making more SCVs or more probes or more zerglings. I'm not zerglings, drones. So keep making your production units. Plant your proxy as close as you can to his base without being seen. And then keep the pressure on. Run in, I would say, your first group of at least 4 to 6. Start whacking away at his, in this case, supply depot. If it was a Protoss, you probably have a pylon here. Just take out that pylon and just run him into his base. As soon as you get your first 6 in, keep hitting your Z key and set your waypoint, your rally point in his base. That way your next group that's being made, they're going to come in. And then just double check by using your mini map. Go back here, see if you actually left a straggler and put them in. You need every single unit you can get in there. So that's pretty much it. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any comments, please leave them in the section below. Thanks a lot and happy gaming.